Well, time for Media Watch, and for that we're joined in the studio by James Creedon. Hello there, James.
Hi, Laura.
You're going to talk to us about all things political tonight.
Yes.
The election here in France now just a few months away, of course. Tell us how things are looking in terms of opinion polls, in terms of candidates.
That's right. So I think for people who are outside of France, a lot of people are aware there is a French election. There is a presidential election this year in May.
An important one.
That's a very important one. And if we take a look at this article on our website, I think it sort of lays the lay of the land is sort of somewhat clear as we head into 2017. France, Germany and the Netherlands, the elections that could derail the EU in 2017. So first up, you have an election in March in the Netherlands. You have Geert Wilders, who, he wants an exit from the European Union as well. That could set the tone for the French presidential election 2 months later. So what happens in the Netherlands, what happens also vis-a-vis Brexit negotiations between the UK and the EU, all of this will play into the French election. So that's just taking a few steps back. Now, what's happening in France as we gear up for May? Well, first of all, Marine Le Pen has spoken. Has given her New Year's wishes. A lot of people analysing what she said, but also analysing how she said it and the backdrop. Do you see there's an image in the top left of the screenshot there? A lot of people were curious about that. It probably wasn't an accident, so people were saying, what was she trying to say? It's actually Cardinal Richelieu. We might remember him from the Three Musketeers. He was a bit of a bad guy in that, but he was essentially the interior minister for Louis XIII, and very much somebody who symbolised a centralised state, sort of an absolute power, a centralised power system. And this is at the siege of La Rochelle, when La Rochelle was sort of rejecting centralised power, and he said he was going to cut the head off the dragon.
Goodness.
So he's a symbol of, I suppose, state authority. The French state, also a cardinal. So perhaps it's a nod to the Catholic voters, those who might be very conservative and who might be tempted to vote for the National Front. Yeah. So all of this, or even the National Front. Yes, indeed, there will be an attempt by the National Front to win over voters who could be tempted by François Fillon, who is also Catholic friendly, I suppose we could say.
All right. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because both Le Pen on the far right and Jean-Luc Mélenchon on the far left, both today talking about Donald Trump and how they admire his moves towards ending free trade. That's quite interesting. But the Socialist Party...
Hard to wrap your head around
it is. But the Socialist Party are holding their primaries, aren't they? Manuel Valls, the former Prime Minister, is widely expected to win that.
So the big event this month will be the primary on the Socialist primary. 7 candidates. And we remember from last year, François Hollande decided he wasn't going to seek re-election. And this headline here indicates the tensions that still exist in the Socialist Party, because Manuel Valls is seen as the natural sort of successor, if you like, to represent the Socialist Party for elections. But he's being ignored by the Élysée Palace, according to this headline. Boudé par l'Élysée, ignored by the Élysée Palace. Manuel Valls suggests that Hollande supports him. So he's in this very awkward position.
It's a bit of a poison chalice, though, isn't it, given Hollande's approval ratings?
That's right. So Manuel Valls has been trying to walk that very tight line between not appearing to betray François Hollande, also trying to represent some renewal, even though he was the Prime Minister.
Renewal but continuity, kind of.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a very tough sell.
And as this headline says, left-wing primary, 7 candidates, 7 different programmes, no favourites for now in the polls. So we just don't know how that one's going to go. Meanwhile, not a part of the primary process, but also on the sort of centre-left, you've got Emmanuel Macron, who jumped ship. He was a budget minister, he jumped ship. A lot of people looking at whether or not he could basically chew away at a lot of the kind of left-wing and centrist votes that Manuel Valls or whoever gets the Socialist Party primary would hope for. This headline says, is he a political prodigy? As a lot of people think he kind of is. He's apparently a very brilliant, brainy guy. Or is he a narcissist drunk on himself? He made a famously over-the-top speech in December where...
that got memed to death,
It got memed to death, indeed. Meanwhile, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, also on the political left, speaking of Manuel Macron, said he is a big bourgeois who doesn't know anything about life.
They're not going to be friends, are they? He used to be a banker.
And both of them are not going to be part of the primary. So you have essentially a far-left candidate, a Socialist Party candidate, whoever that will be, plus Emmanuel Macron, formerly Socialist Minister.
It's a crowded field, isn't it?
It's a very crowded field. It's going to divide the left-wing and centrist vote. I suppose one person who will hope to benefit from that is François Fillon with his very much austerity-orientated set of policies on for the Conservative Party.
The French Margaret Thatcher.
The French Margaret Thatcher with
Right.
the slightly less elaborate haircut.
It's going to be a fun few months. We look forward to hearing more from you, James. All right, thank you very much indeed. James Queenan there with Mediawatch. Now,